I think that we tend to glorify starting over. We celebrate reinventions, we celebrate bold moves, we celebrate fresh starts, big decisions that look clean and decisive from the outside. We celebrate all of those. And for a long time, I thought that was what courage looked like. But if I'm honest, the bravest moments in my life didn't look like starting over at all. They looked quiet, uncertain, unimpressive even. I think those moments looked more like curiosity. And curiosity doesn't get applause or a standing ovation. There's no announcement, no before and after photo to be taken. And yet, staying curious, especially when I didn't know where things were going, has been one of the bravest things that I've ever done. Somewhere along the way, starting over became more like a performance for me. Not intentionally, not dramatically, but subtly. A new identity, new labels, new explanations that helped other people understand what I was doing, or why my life looked different than it used to. I felt pressure to make things make sense, to wrap change in language that sounded confident, to present a version of myself that looked decisive, even when I wasn't sure. I wasn't at all decisive on the inside. What I've learned about myself is this. Most real change in my life didn't begin with certainty. It began with curiosity, with small questions I didn't have answers for. Questions I asked privately, questions I didn't rush to explain, and questions I sometimes noodled about for a long time before I did anything at all. At the time, that felt like hesitation, like a delay, like maybe I wasn't being brave enough. But now I see it differently. The time that I spent exploring that curiosity was just me listening. When things in my life started to shift, curiosity gave me something to hang on to. Instead of asking myself, what's the right decision? I asked quieter questions. What happens if I try this? What feels less scary? Even just a little. What am I learning about myself right now? The questions didn't demand answers. They didn't require a timeline, and they didn't ask me to prove anything. They slowed me down just enough to notice what was actually happening on the inside. And that mattered, because certainty has always made me hurry up to rush through the moment. Curiosity didn't do that. Curiosity let me stay present. It let me stay in the moment. It let me gather information without requiring an ending or a conclusion. It gave me permission to explore without making promises I wasn't ready to keep. So, no announcements, no big reveal, no promise to anyone but myself. In a season where everything is tender, curiosity is safer than certainty. For a long time, I believed confidence came from knowing, from clarity, from having answers, from being sure. But that's not how it actually showed up for me. Confidence came when I realized something else entirely. I like to say it this way now. When curiosity becomes bigger than the fear or the having to know, then confidence starts to settle in. Not because the fear goes away or disappears, but because we learn that we can stay calm even while we're not knowing or understanding. Confidence came when I discovered that I could stay inside the uncertainty without spiraling like a spinning top. That I could explore an idea without actually committing to it right then and there. That I could move forward gently, without demanding certainty from myself first. I didn't need to conquer the unknown. I just needed to stay with it. That's what curiosity taught me. Curiosity built trust in myself, in my pace, my speed, in my ability to adjust if needed. And that trust changed everything. Trust softened my brain and my automatic responses. It reduced the urgency. It replaced performance with presence, with being in the now, with calm. That calm, that steadiness became the real foundation. So if you're like me and facing some change right now, if part of you thinks that you need to feel braver before you move forward, especially if you're tired of having to prove something, I want to share what continues to help me. Instead of thinking that I need to start over, I just stay curious. I stay curious about my feelings, about what is true, about what feels lighter, calmer, about what doesn't fit right now. And curiosity actually takes me even further with far less pressure than any dramatic reset or starting over ever could. So let me leave you with this. We don't need certainty to move forward. We don't need a big declaration or a big manifesto. We don't need to start over in order to be brave. Sometimes the bravest thing we can do is stay curious long enough to let the next step reveal itself. So, this conversation is part of a longer series this season called Quiet Endings and Honest Beginnings. You're welcome to watch and think about them in your own time. The playlist link is down there in the description. So until next time, stay curious, stay calm. Bye for now.